Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming to our Diamond Call today. And I have Carly Wood, who is one of our local Charlotte coaches. She is a 9-star elite coach, and she's a Success Club legend and has just been, her success has been really awesome. And it's really awesome to see. How long have you been a coach?
About 2.5 years now.
Yeah. And like you were like, even by two years, you were already like 7-star or something. Like she was successful, in such a quick time. So for me, I've been a coach for like 3 years. It's just crazy to see how quickly people build successful. And you have, did you have 2 elite coaches with you last year too?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yay, that's so exciting. So she's going to talk today about keeping the fire going with your coaches, because I don't know about you, but I have a huge problem with that lately, just seeing people drop off and be excited in the beginning and then, just kind of lose that passion. So she's going to talk a little bit about that and any other nuggets she wants to give us. So go ahead, Carly.
Okay, cool. So what I want to say about that, just starting off, is it didn't always start that way. I didn't dive in until 2 months into my coaching journey. I just sat at my computer and like cried, and I was like, oh, what am I doing? And then my journey really didn't change until 6 months in, when I started personal development. So that's something that I'm really huge on. And you'll hear me talk about it a lot, just because I feel like it's something that really drives this business. And I made the mistake also in the beginning of saying, if I could just have, then I would be. So if I could just have 5 stars my title, if I could just be an elite coach, then I would be successful, then I would be happy, then I would be good, then I would be a leader. And so taking that notion out of your mind, because you already have everything you need. It's just inside of you. And this is kind of something I talk to my coaches about too. One of the biggest things when it comes to motivating your team and getting coaches kind of fired up still is finding out, like, what are their self-limiting beliefs? Like, what is their lie about themselves? So I do a lot of that stuff with my team, because people get excited in the beginning and then they fall off, or people get excited and then they hear a few no's, and that discourages them. Like, I've got a coach over here right now, and I was talking to her this week. I was like, I really want to help you get to diamond, because I know that that is her goal. Like, I know that she wants to be at the retreat. She's talked about it. And I'm like, what can I do? And she's like, you really can't do anything. I have to do it. You've given us all the tools. You've given us all this. So, sometimes I just want to let you guys know that it's not always what we're able to do. Like, we can inspire and be there and do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's figuring out what is holding them back and where their self-limiting beliefs kind of start, and working through that. So what I did is I just put a list together of some things that I do. Some of this stuff you guys might already know about, and I'll share this little graphic with you. But it's just something that I've put together based on a few of the things that I do with my team. So April, do you want me to share the screen, or do you want me to just share this when I'm done? Yeah, it's just one. Okay. It's just one like little picture thing. I'm a visual person. So like I talked about, identifying the self-limiting beliefs that people have, catering their personal development towards that. And that can look like so many different things. I think a lot of times we jump on like the "you're a badass" bandwagon, or, entre leadership, or compound effect. And it's really trying to find out something that fits for each coach. With my coaches, I know each of their whys, and not just I want to help people. We dig down deep into what this can really look like for them. Why do they want this? Like, what are their biggest dreams? Like, all of that stuff that, it's easy to give up when your why is like, oh, I just want to complete a program, or I just want to help people. It's easy to have one foot in and one foot out if you're looking at it that way. So really figuring out why my coaches want this, how this will change their life. Tackling those fears, like I said, a lot of times what stands in people's way from doing something, from wanting something and doing something, is some sort of fear, is some sort of limiting belief about themselves. My lie was, I'm not good enough. So even doing team calls and things like this, it still creeps back in. I'm not good enough, because that's something that I learned at the age of 8. So just identifying that crap that we tell ourselves and getting over that is really the key to a lot of my coaches' success. And then keeping that fire lit, because they know that they have done that and how good it feels to stop believing their inner critic or whatever you want to call it. And, so to be able to share that with others. Becoming more vulnerable. I used to think as a leader, I wasn't able to share my mistakes, or I had to be perfect or this or that. And that's not relatable, especially to newer coaches. So just getting vulnerable with your team, sharing what's worked, sharing your mistakes. Every single time I'm going through a challenge, whether it's dropping rank, volume, recruiting, anything, I look at it like, okay, I'm going through this because someone on my team is going to go through it, and they're going to need to learn what I did. So turning everything I can into a positive, focusing on what I can control. I'm huge on mindset, huge with my team. I don't let any of my coaches come to me with any complaining, with any negativity. I've done that since day one because that just breeds more of it. And I don't want to sound rude because I'm like the nicest person ever, but I ignored my coaches' messages if they would come to me complaining. There's a difference in venting and strategizing and team building, but I'm just talking about like complaining. There's really no room for that. And so if you've got coaches that tend to do that with you, I'm a firm believer that we teach people how to treat us. So kind of nix that if you can. Working with a success partner or a success pod. I like to surround myself with people who are not better than me, but who are further along than me, or who I can learn from, who I can grow from. So just surrounding yourself with those kind of people is so encouraging and motivating and inspiring. I start each morning with a gratitude list, and I've taught my coaches to do it too, because I really feel like when we focus on what we're grateful for and the little things that we do have and the small things that this journey has given us, we just feed off of that. And I had the leaders on my team, not the leaders, I had all my PS coaches make a very short video, a 1-minute video, 2 minutes most, because people like short and quick, of how coaching has changed their life. So this past month, leading up until Summit, that's what we're doing. So people can see and visualize and hear what this has done for other people, whether it's just completing a program or they've retired themselves. All of these great, amazing things, I feel like if we fill our team pages with that, it kind of keeps that momentum going versus focusing on how volume sucks or who's dropped or the coach that's gone. That just breeds more of that stuff. Like I said, be willing to share your mistakes, your failures, how you overcome. I'm huge on failing forward. One thing I do, and I'm trying to get better at, is meditating, because I really feel like with Facebook and scrolling and looking at other coaches and seeing what we're doing, I play this comparison game, and I know that my coaches do it. I know that probably each of us on here have done it. So just getting to a place for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, clearing my mind, I found that it lets me draw out my own creativity and things that I can share with my team versus looking at what everyone's doing and feeling like I'm not doing enough. Showing up daily and focusing on what you can control. I teach my coaches too that if they want to be a leader, then they got to show up in the team pages as well. They got to start leading so their coaches see them doing it. Because I had a really hard time transitioning into my own team page. I think I had like about 20 coaches. I was diamond, and everyone still was posting in my uplines, which is fine. I didn't look at that though as like something I was doing wrong, or it was something wrong with me. And I see that a lot too in the downline as well. If someone comes to me and not their upline, to me, we're all one big family. They can go to whoever they want to, whoever inspires them and whoever motivates them. It doesn't bother me at all. I encourage it. And I dig into my downline. Some coaches just work with their PS coaches, but I really have that team, family, whole mentality going on with my team. So just focusing on what you can control. A lot of times I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm not 10-star, I'm not this. Instead of like, wow, like look at what I've done. Look at what my coaches are doing. That whole mindset thing again. And then some of the things in my team page that I've done, so it's not all businessy all the time, is like a social Sunday, where everyone can post. It could be anything, a picture of their dog, or, a wine night Thursday, anything what your team likes. Just something to bring out the fun, to get to know everyone, and to take the focus away from the 24/7 hustle and bustle. And those posts are awesome. Everyone loves to see people's families or their pets or what they're doing on the weekend. And it just gets that kind of family feel going, like I said again. And then, okay, so this is one thing that I recently did, which was awesome, is completing a program from start to finish as a whole team. So we ran a separate challenge group as a team, and it was doing the ultimate reset. And a lot of people do it at their own time, but still together, we're all doing it as a team, because that's a program where not everyone can start the same day, traveling, this, that, and the other. But that was great. I've seen a lot of momentum from that in the past couple weeks, and we're keeping that group open from now until the end of the year, so people can still do the ultimate reset when it works for them. It was a lot of fun, and I've got 5 customers doing it now. I've never had anyone do the ultimate reset. So, just leading by example and rallying up, and even if it's 5 people in your whole team that are doing a program with you, that's 5 people that are driving the momentum to do it. So, focusing on the quality versus the quantity has been key for me as well. Working with the willing, I'd rather work with a new coach that is fired up and is at Success Club 6 and is brand new than someone on my team who's been 2 coaches away from Diamond for 2 years now. It's exhausting, and it's like, I can't do that shit for you. It's like working with those fresh, young, whoever people that are new to the team or that are excited or that are showing up daily. That's who I feel like we should give our attention to. I literally have a girl on the team that I've worked with. She went on our very first retreat. She's needed 2 coaches. She's got 3 emeralds. All she's needed is 2 coaches for Diamond. And I let it eat me up for so long that all my focus was going there, and I was taking it away from everything else that was going on. So learn from me. Don't do that. Have your team get involved in your training. So making it, everyone on your team, even if you have, you're just a new diamond, have your emeralds contribute, have your team step up, share their story, anything. They can contribute in any sort of way. I work side by side with my new coaches. This is something that I was like, why did things work in the beginning and why they take off? Is because we were all working together. I wasn't their upline. We were all success partners together. So maybe going back to that with your new coaches, like being success partners with them. I like to go live in my team pages because I feel like people can connect with me, my personality, my dog's barking. It's just real. It's real messy sometimes. And that's what people like to see. It encourages them that they can do it too. If my videos are all perfect and everything looks good, then that just sets up for a lot of like living up to that expectation. So I just go in live, haven't brushed my teeth half the time, and it works. I give responsibility to, like I said, my downline, my coaches, so they don't bail as easily. They've got 2 feet in, instead of like 1 foot in, let's see if this is going to work. I can bail out. Like I'm not really doing anything. So that helps. And then really, I've been so big this year on like visualization, mindset. I went through a really hard time and I hired a life coach because I felt like I was dragging my team. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I kept focusing on what I'm not doing, what my team is not doing. So I really had to start focusing on visualizing what I wanted each day, visualizing what I wanted for our team, our goals, really putting it out there and shutting up that voice in my head that's like, what's wrong with you? The comparing and everything else. I mean, my coach is a complete rock star. I mean, she's freaking incredible. And she did it in a very, very short amount of time. And I think sometimes I was getting caught up in like, well, what am I doing wrong? What is she doing right? And I know if I was feeling that, then coaches on my team were feeling that. So sharing that, leading by example, how you got over things, all of that. Recognizing your team, even for the ultimate reset is a huge deal. And I have blown the people up in my groups about how proud I am that they're doing it, that they're committed to it, just little things like that. It's not always recognizing the diamonds and, the shiny objects. Sometimes it's like that in the doing a program is where people are going to gain their confidence from. So, and I talk to my coaches about what they specifically need from me, because I've learned that not everyone needs the same stuff. I've overcome my own fears. I went through yoga teacher training. I did the ultimate reset. I'm showing my team that, if I can do stuff, they can do it too. Digging into my downlines has been huge. It really creates that family feel, like I said, like we're all equal. I'm not at the top, and neither are other leaders. Like, we all start somewhere, and just giving people in the downline shout outs that are rocking it. I've got 3 coaches who are close to Diamond, and none of them were my PS coaches because the coaches above them quit. If I hadn't to give those people time or introduced myself, I really think that they would be gone too. So voice messaging the people in your downline, congratulating them for whatever, hitting Success Club or going Diamond, showing up for them too has been key. And then, like I said, leading by example, and then always sharing your story, because I feel like we're adding new people to the team all the time, and then they see you as a leader, but they don't know where you came from. When I do calls, I like to talk about my story. I mean, I've been through so much. I had so much fear, so much self-doubt, so much things when I started this journey that I can't even, it's like, I'm a different person now. And I know that if I can do that, if I can overcome those things, anyone can. Anyone in our team can. Anyone in this world can. It all just boils down to what is really holding them back. Painting that picture of what this can be like for them. What can coaching be like for them? Meeting them where they're at too. I have a coach on my team or in our team, I'll say, and she forced her coaches to go Diamond so she could hit her goals. And none of those coaches are Diamonds anymore. I do not operate like that at all. If someone has a goal, I'm so willing to jump on their bandwagon and run with them, but I'm never one to force something on somebody. So I like to paint the picture of what it can be for them. What do they want out of this? What is holding them back? If they could do anything in the world, what would it be? And what's stopping them from doing it? Like, really figuring out. I've just seen it in my own journey, and so many people's journey is something that is inside of them that holds them back. Like, I can give my whole team all the tools, everything to do. I can write out their posts for them. But if they're too scared or they have something holding them back, then it doesn't matter what I do for them. It doesn't matter. They have to get over that kind of stuff themselves. So I am huge on personal development. I share in my team all the time what I'm learning from personal development. I just am huge on it, because I really feel like I don't know how to say it. Like, we are only as good as the inner growth. Like, our teams are only as good as the inner growth that we're projecting. So if we're not growing and we're not learning and we're not getting over things, then I don't feel like our teams are going to follow in suit of that. And then I got a life coach, and I drink a lot of wine. That's just kind of what I do. I know it might be a little basic, and it's probably stuff that you guys do, but like I said, when I was putting this together, I was like, gosh, what should I talk about? And I'll share a video with you guys. We're doing a Revive training right now, and we had a coach named Joshua. He's from, not Tony Robbins, but what's the other one? The guy who wrote The Compound Effect. Why can't I think of it right now? I forget his name. But anyways, he shared an incredible video with us. He got on, and I'll share it with you, April, and you can share it with everyone on here, because it's some of the stuff that I was talking about in the beginning, like getting over those fears, how he could, no, not Darren Hardy, it was someone else. But I can't think of his name right now. Maybe he didn't write The Compound Effect. Maybe he just referenced that book when he was talking. It'll come to me. But I'll share it with you. It was really, really good. He did an amazing job, and it just talks about, how these limiting self-beliefs and how you can give your whole downline, all your coaches, all the tools in the world and show up and everything, but something is holding them back from getting there. And until you identify that and work through that, kind of just stays the same. So I hope that helped.
That did. That was. Oh my gosh, I hate myself, but I can hear myself. So yeah, that was kind of what we all needed. Another perspective, and hearing some of the things. And I know that I go live, and I was doing it for some time, I just kind of so there's a lot of things that I'm like, why did I stop doing that?
It's really hard to understand you, April.
I'm not sure why I have feedback. Question.
Yeah, it's like your volume's going in and out a little bit.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
I think it was because it was on a pillow. Okay, so yeah, a lot of that was kind of exactly what we needed to hear. So that was kind of like the kick in the butt that I needed. And I took a picture of that. I took a screenshot of the picture that she had, so I'll share that in our group too, that we can share later. But does anybody have any questions or anything that, Carly talked about that you have questions about getting over or anything?
I think for me, it's a lot of like trying to figure out how to get my coaches like super excited. And I think that a lot of it is like some of the things that speak to me, like incentives, like retreats and stuff like that, don't necessarily apply to them. Like I was just talking to April earlier and I was like, brand new coaches, we have a cutoff for our retreat that's Halloween. Brand new coaches still have the opportunity to be a part of that. And I just don't I don't understand why they don't feel excited about it. So it's just like, I don't know what to do to like get them to that point where they are, that drives me so much. I would do anything to earn something like that. But I guess what's hard for me is getting them to want it.
And I feel like asking your coaches like what motivates them, what inspires them, like what they like, because there are some people who love recognition. I am not a recognition person. I mean, if I miss certain people on my board, God forbid, I will hear about it for days. Like, but that's not me. Like, I don't care. So I don't really understand that mindset because I don't have it. But that doesn't still don't show up and give them what they need too. So maybe your coaches' retreats don't excite them, but something else would. I don't know, like a gift or recognition or things like that. Just figuring out what kind of fires them up and what motivates them. Because I'm a retreat girl. I'm like, oh my God, let's spend all the time in the world together. Don't give me a shout out, a plaque. I don't care if my name ever said, but let's all go play. And I love getting on Zoom. Some of my coaches are busy and don't have the time for it and don't need it. I don't take it personal though. I'm not, I'm like, okay, they don't need this connection. So just figuring out what your coaches need, I feel like goes a long way too.
And I was thinking about that too today, Sarah, is maybe including that into either your 7-day training or your new coach checklist. And you could have them either take what Melissa does the color or the color test to kind of understand how to know how to talk to them and things. You could also just kind of ask like, if you had to pick one thing, what would be most exciting for you? And it would be like, kind of along the lines of the 5 love languages, maybe,
yeah.
That plus recognition and quality time and things like that. So that could be something we could either put into like a 7-day training or that new coach checklist. And that would be good to have, kind of just to know what excites them. Cause I think that's so hard. Like I know for a fact, I'm that kind of person that if I can win a free piece of paper, I'm going to do it. And, and I know that Ashley Lindsay is very, like, she wants to take every freaking trip possible. Like if she can win a trip, she's there. She literally might give birth at Summit, but she's going to be there.
Yeah.
So for me, visualization, I had a new leader conference, like lanyard, and I sent it to her, wrote her name on it. Like that was like, if I can win this free trip, I want to. So
right.
Knowing what they have, what really motivates them, whether it's visualization, whether it's free trips, whether it's recognition, just maybe put that into your GSR call every time you get on a new coach call.
Yeah, and one other thing that I did too, I did a very short questionnaire for all my PS coaches, and that was one of the questions on there. But I can share it with you guys. I asked questions like, what are your goals? What are you doing to get there right now? What are you not doing to get there? I didn't even have to go over these Q&As because the questions I asked made them realize where they needed to step up or what they needed to do. And then another thing that I've seen coaches do, make the mistake of doing, is making it about them. I'm always a we person, not an I person. I've seen coaches in my downline, well, I have done this and I have done that. And that personality just turns me off so bad. And I never want my coaches to feel that way. So I really make it all about them. Anytime someone shouts me out, I'm like, this isn't about me. Like, I wouldn't have been able to get here without without my team. Just really living that and believing that. And because I feel like when we start to really make it about us, that kind of like turns me off. So I never want my team to feel that way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yep.
And even things too, like when you're pushing for elite, that was really hard for me to kind of say, how do I talk to them so they know that it's not just something that I want to do for me, but I want to do for us, you know, to be able to say we are an elite team. So you just have to kind of focus on how does it come across that it's, and everything should always be we, not I, you know, we are an elite qualifying team and, you know, things like that.
I said, we are getting to 5-star so I can have that diamond line, you guys. I will call on everyone's behalf. And I'll call for anyone in the down line. But I created that, like, I don't want this for the shiny title, you know, like, I don't care. They know I don't care about that. So just different ways to word things.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
Just that little image.
I have it too. I screenshot it also.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. So yeah, when do you send the coach questionnaire to them, Carly?
I sent the one that I did at the beginning of the year, just so I knew where everyone's goals were at. But you could do it like the 6-month mark, going into like right now, going into the end of the year. Yeah, you can really do it anytime.
Okay.
And getting everyone to summit. Like, I'm still rallying up people because it's such a game changer. I know certain people can't go for they're pregnant or, you know, they have a wedding or something. Getting them to the Super Saturday after.
Yeah.
Things like that too.
Yeah, I shared your post about your summit post. I'm still in your training group, by the way. So I saw that today and I shared that because it's not too late. I mean, anybody can still come.
Yeah, I love that. I made a video the other day about like my personal experience about it, and I felt, you know, didn't really hear anything back, but I love, some people want to watch a video about it and some people just want to read bullet points. So I feel like you have to give it from all angles.
Mm-hmm.
I was also looking at a picture. We had like 23 people at Summit last year from our team, and 8 of them are no longer coaches. And I'm like, what? Like, it's crazy how people can drop off, but I just hope that,
with that being said, when I went through yoga teacher training, I had a girl, she was a diamond coach. She wanted it. She was my, I hate the word assistant. She helped me out. She was my assistant when I was going through training, and she was like doing so well, and she lost her diamond rank, and she's like, I can't do anything more for her. You know, I've done everything. So not taking that blame on yourself and not owning that for somebody else. Like, I can't own that for her, just like I can't want it for other people. All I can do is figure out what the heck is holding them back, just like what was holding, I mean, Nikki, Sean, my parent, anyone could have told me what to do those 2 months. I had to figure it out myself. You know, I had to start personal development. And so don't take ownership of what people aren't doing, because I did that for a while and it killed me. So just want to squeeze that in there.
I think that's really hard sometimes, finding out. I have so many coaches that the only thing that they need to change is get out of their own way. And I will tell them that, but there's so many ways, like, how do I tell this to them that I actually tell them, like, okay, well, so I'll ask them, what do you think you need to change? Like, what do you think you're struggling with? But I probably could pick 10 coaches right now that they are posting, they're trying there's a disconnect somewhere, and it's something that they just need to get out of their own way. And it's just frustrating but you can't do it for them.
Yeah. I'm going to share that call with you guys, because he talks a lot about that, getting out of your own way and stuff. So I'll share it with you.
We're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the video we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, he works with a lot of coaches actually on the team. Like, he works with a lot of different Beachbody coaches out there.
Yeah, I'd love that. And then I'd like to see your questionnaire too. Who did you find for your life coach? How did you find somebody?
I found her through a friend through their business sorority here in Charlotte. If I could go back, I would just research a couple different people. I love her. She's great. But for people who start, like, she might not be someone that would work for everyone, you know. But a lot of the people, John Maxwell, I knew I'd remember his name.
Oh,
He works with John. I'm sitting here like going through the alphabet. I'm like, I'm going to remember his name. He's like a master coach for one of them, but they've got all different like level coaches, and he has a training. That's the thing. Like, people can sign up for all these trainings and do all this personal development. If they're not applying what they're learning, and if they're not getting out of their own way, like, and just cutting down that wall of self-belief that destructs everybody, then it doesn't matter. You know, I've got coaches who will read till they're blue in the face, but they won't put action behind what they're learning. So it's like, you know, you can only do so much, but I'll share that with you guys because it was a great call.
Yeah, that's like Melissa. She just had to hop off, but she has coaches that are on her team call every week, and they're not hitting Success Club, but they're there every week, and they are plugging in, and they're helping with challenge groups, but they're not hitting Success Club, and we're like, where is the distance?
And a lot of times it's in the confidence, because people, like, it's like you can have a lady that's lost 50 pounds, and I'll see her share her post. It's like, if I lost 50 pounds, I'm not at my goal weight yet. Maybe if you want to join my challenge group, I could help you too. It's like, you lost 50 fucking pounds. Like, you should have some confidence, man. Like, you got to own that. Like, that is, and so like, I've been owning the ultimate reset. That's not easy to do, like taking ownership. And I feel like so many times coaches aren't doing that. And that comes off, like, I'm a firm believer, like, energy, what we project, what we put out there, how we talk to people. I mean, you could hear the energy in how I told that story and then how I would have told that story. So I think like confidence is a huge thing. And you know, if they're sharing their journey that way on social media, then they aren't inviting behind closed doors, or they're not confidently doing it, you know? So again, it comes back to like that, what they believe. They don't believe that they're good enough to help somebody else out. That person who lost 50 pounds doesn't really believe that she can make a difference. You know, it's like how you look at yourself. So
yeah, so true. Well, I love that so much. Thank you so much for popping on. Where did you say you're flying to tomorrow?
Virginia.
Yay.
Yeah.
And when you get back, we can get together and chat about some Super Saturday stuff, finalize some things. If you want to go visit the place and take a look and make some plans ahead of time, we can do that.
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, let's plan on doing a team call swap too.
Yeah, just let me know when yours is coming up, and I can do that too.
Okay, cool. I will. Thanks for having me on, you guys. I hope this helped, and I'll share this stuff with you right now, April.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.